Okay. Once again, I don't really know why I'm making this video. I'm not really sure why I feel like I should come on here and talk to whoever's going to listen about stuff. Maybe this is like something that I feel I need to do, or I've just become so frustrated with life on so many levels. But I've always been frustrated with life on so many levels. Haven't you? Seriously, if anyone wants to answer any of my questions, I'd love to hear. Aren't you frustrated with life? I don't know how good or bad your life is. But when you look around and you realize that my life would be considered heaven for hundreds of millions, if not billions of people, and my life would be considered hell for at least thousands of people, they'd be like, God, could you imagine having to live that guy's life? Oh, it's all relative. One man's heaven is another man's hell. A man or woman who's living a phenomenal life would look at my life and go, oh God, glad I'm not living that guy's. Yet tons of people would love to have what I have. They'd die for it. What a stupid reality we live in. Why don't we want everyone on our planet to live at least a decent, good life? Food, clothing, shelter, education, and healthcare. Why don't we all agree that, yeah, everybody should have that except violent people, and then those violent people need to be in prison, and I think those prisons should be rehabilitative. But regardless of that, why can't we all agree that, yeah, it's silly that anyone should live in poverty in a world of abundance? Check out Joseph Murphy's teachings, The Master Key to Wealth. Listen to it. It's actually very practical. It's not what you think it is. I think it's called The Master Key to Wealth. It's like 5 minutes long. I think there's a longer version, but he's totally right. Can you count the flowers? Can you count the sand on the shore? Can you count the stars in the sky? Abundance is everywhere. Infinite abundance. Reason it out in your mind, he said. That God is I forget what he says about God. God is the creator of all and blah, blah. And everything that is created is in abundance. And that God is the source of your supply. Reason this out in your mind. He just says it is impossible for any sincere person to not prosper in some way. He wasn't talking about acquiring millions and millions of dollars. He was talking about anyone who realizes this truth about nature, God, whatever, is going to be provided with all that they need. Because that's just nature. It's abundant everywhere. And we're ripping the guts out of this planet constantly. To the point where I agree with George Carlin. We're going away, folks. The planet isn't going anywhere. Humans talk about trying to save the planet. He goes, save the planet? He said the planet has been around for 4.5 billion years. The planet ain't going anywhere. The people are going away. We're going away, folks. I wish George Carlin was still here. I can't imagine what he would say right now about what's going on in this country, this dumb country that I live in. It makes me sick. Nothing I can do about it. I'm not going to waste my time. I mean, I'm complaining about it. I shouldn't. There's no point. It's not helping me to sit here and complain about everything that's wrong with this country and all the evil that's going on, because that's been going on since the founding of this country. Nothing's changed. It's human nature. But getting back to Calvinism for a second, I just feel like talking, okay? Calvinism is weird. A lot of people think it's very, very biblical. It's very consistently biblical with what you read in the Bible. It's very clear. The Bible speaks about predestination and election. I don't know how well you're familiar with this stuff, but the tulip, the 5 points of Calvinism, I'm reading it up here. Total depravity, so we are totally depraved. We are evil. Incapable of being good. I can show you numerous verses in the Bible that directly contradict that. And I showed it to my Calvinist friend when we were arguing. He's now, I think he's probably a 4-point Calvinist now. I mentioned him in a previous video. He's now a pastor of a conservative Christian church in Nebraska. Lived here in Chicago, a suburb. And he's been an atheist twice and a Christian 3 times in his life. So he's been through the gamut. And we were friends for a long time. We played D&D together in the 80s. Total depravity. Depravity, yeah. Total? No. I could be wrong. If a Calvinist wants to discuss Calvinism, feel free. I'll have a civil discussion with you. Unconditional election is the U. Unconditional election. So God elected who he's going to save, and it's unconditional. Okay. Well, sure, if he did, then it's unconditional. Yeah, if he's already picked, if he's already elected who he's going to save, then it's unconditional. See, I don't think evangelicals are 4-point Calvinists, because I don't think they believe that. The L is for limited atonement, and that's where the 4-point Calvinists say, nope, Christ died for all. Unlimited atonement. Calvinist says, no limited atonement. Irresistible grace. Oh, so God's going to force his grace on you. It's irresistible. You can't resist it. Sorry, I'm going to give you grace. No, I don't want it. God, too bad. What kind of weird belief is that? That's how weird Calvinism is. It's irresistible grace. God's going to be graceful. He's going to show you grace, and there's nothing you can do about it. Oh, darn it. What a cockamamie system this is. And the last one, the P in tulip, the perseverance of the saints. You see, you'll persevere, meaning you won't fall away. You'll persevere to the end because you were elected before the foundation of the world that God chose to save you. So you'll persevere. So why is Paul imploring people to persevere? Why didn't he just say, oh, well, you're all going to persevere if God chose you? See, Paul doesn't talk like a Calvinist. He mentions Calvinism, the concepts of Calvinism, predestination and election. In his writings, you can see it. It's right there. And the Calvinists take those and go, see? I'm like, the perseverance of the saints, he didn't teach that. You better persevere, because if you don't, oh, that'll be bad. Well, if I'm one of the saints, I will persevere. That's what Calvinism teaches. So if you don't persevere, oh, well, then you were never saved to begin with. Oh, how convenient. I fell away from the faith. You never really believed. I wonder what they'd say about my friend. He was a Calvinist. He was an evangelical, then he became a Calvinist. Then he became a militant atheist. After looking at deism and my universalism that I was teaching him, I no longer hold fast to universalism. I still believe that's the most likely, but I'm not. I acknowledge the problem verses of the Bible with universalism, but I acknowledge problem verses with every form of Christianity. And I'm confused why people try to justify verses that, at least on the surface, contradict their own beliefs. And I'm talking anything: Mormonism, Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventists, you name it. You name your church: Roman Catholicism, the Lutheran Church, Universalism, evangelicalism, fundamentalism, whatever. The hoops, watching or reading the hoops that people jump through to justify the problem verses with their religious beliefs. It's like, maybe your religious beliefs are just flawed, and you don't know as much as you think you do. That's what I came to realize, because I finally couldn't really justify those problem verses with universalism. I mean, I would read what universalists said about them, and I agreed after arguing against universalism for about a year before I embraced universalism after listening to Gary Amirault, who's now passed on, sadly. He's passed away. But he convinced me, after reading his stuff and watching him on YouTube, that I think I was wrong. I think universalism is biblical. And then I defended universalism. Now, when I was arguing against it for about a year, I was also arguing against the hellfire and brimstone preachers on YouTube who are trying to tell me that God loves everyone and is trying to prevent people from going to hell. I said, he's all-knowing and all-powerful, and he's trying to save people from going to hell that he created and condemned everyone to go to, and now he's trying to save you by getting you to believe in Jesus before you die. You don't see any problem with that logic. Okay. So I was arguing against an eternal hell, always argued against a literal eternal hell because it makes no sense. It boggles my mind how many highly educated, highly intelligent people believe in a literal eternal hell. There are people with PhDs, I don't know any of them, but I know there are, who believe this. You're going to be burned alive for all eternity. First of all, wouldn't you get used to the fire at some point? Wouldn't the pain of fire burning you finally be like, yeah, I'm just sitting here in fire. Yeah, it's just what I do. I just live in fire. Yeah, what time is it? Oh, okay. I mean, after a year, hell, after a day. Oh, look, my skin's on fire. Oh, big deal. Pain tolerance. How long would the fire burn you if you never die? Oh, but it's your immortal soul that's being burned, not your body of flesh. The body of flesh would just get burnt and incinerated. Exactly. So now my immortal soul is being burned in fire. And I'm screaming. But God is love. I live in an insane world, but I've bought into a lot of insane, stupid things. You know what's funny about that? I mentioned this in a previous video. I don't know if you saw it. I was in the UBF cult, University Bible Fellowship. I didn't know it was a cult. It's nice Korean people that I met at college, and I studied the Bible with this cute, wonderful, sweet Korean girl named Sarah. She ended up getting married to some guy there. I wasn't interested in her in anything other than friendship, but she was just so sweet. What a sweetheart, you know. And I liked her a lot. And she's just so. I can't say enough about her, and I was concerned for her, especially when I got out of there. And then I worried about her. I hope she's okay. Because I had a feeling that the guy that she had to marry, because they marry by faith, he seemed like he might be gay. His hands were on me. Oh, hi, Scott, how are you? And he's touching me. I'm like, oh, hey, hi, nice to meet you. This guy gay? I'm looking at Sarah going, I couldn't see any love in her heart for him, and I didn't see any love in his heart for her. It was just, this is my wife. This is the woman that I'm going to marry because this is what God is choosing for us to be. We're going to be husband and wife. So glad I got out of there. And once I got out of there, I grew up in the Lutheran church. And once I got out of the University Bible Fellowship cult, I was kind of shell-shocked. Couldn't believe that I fell for this stuff. Why did I fall for this? Well, because they're really nice, and the Bible studies are nice. We studied Genesis, and then we studied John. And I enjoyed studying the Bible with Sarah. It was nice to get together with her and do that. And then I was like, now what am I gonna do now? I was so confused. Like, now what do I believe? Because I was convinced, Jesus is my Lord and Savior. Now I didn't know. So I decided I'm going to try to find truth. And I'm going to pursue truth. And so in my own way, I prayed to God and said, all I want to know is what is true. Whatever is true. Did Jesus rise from the dead or not? Is there a way to find out? I want to know. What is true? What isn't? Is atheism true? I want to know. Now, I've never found definitive proof of anything. I believe the most likely scenario, for me at least, in my opinion, is Christian universalism, that God is love, and therefore all will be saved. Some say in universal circles that all already are saved. We're already saved. And others say, no, we will be saved. There are like a decent variety of universalists. They don't all believe the same thing. Just like a lot of Christians don't believe the same thing. That was a shock to me. Some believe when the Bible talks about all things, the restoration of all things, that includes the devil himself. That even the devil's going to get saved. Okay. Isn't there a verse in the Bible that says something to the effect of the lion will lie down with the lamb? And isn't the lion Satan and the lamb Jesus? Well, if that's true, then yeah, I could see how that could be true. And after all, wasn't Satan an archangel? The light bringer, Lucifer? And he fell, Satan's fall from heaven. That's a classic story. So sure, in the end, God saves all, because why wouldn't he? I mean, the evangelicals, God's up in heaven trying to save people, and they're going to hell. People keep dying, and they're condemned to an eternity in hell. And there's nothing God can do. He provided them for Jesus. It's up to us now to believe in Jesus. If we don't come to Jesus before we die, oh well, too late. He tried. The all-knowing, all-powerful God tried to save you, but you wouldn't believe. So you chose to go to hell. It's your choice. God didn't send you to hell. Have you heard this argument? Have you heard this logic? That's the evangelicals. The Calvinists, oh, God hates you. You're evil. Unless, of course, God chose to save you, in which case he will. His grace is irresistible. You'll come to faith. If you're one of God's elect, God loves you. But not because you're good. We're all evil. It's only that God chose in his mercy to save some of us, because God is merciful. He condemned all of us because we're evil. Read about from the story of Noah. The Bible shows you, see, we're all evil. We're all just despicably evil. Yeah, well, what about all the verses in the Bible to talk about how so-and-so did what was right in the eyes of the Lord? I showed that to my friend who was at the time a Calvinist, and he tried to justify the verses. I said, Carl, it says in the Bible that this guy did what was right in the eyes of the Lord. You told me no one does what is right in the eyes of the Lord. Total depravity. And I'm quoting scripture where people did what was right. How could they have done what was right? Well, just because you can make a decision that's right. No, that's not total depravity. If I'm totally depraved, I will not do what is right in the eyes of the Lord. How could I? And yet the Bible is replete with examples of that. In the Old Testament. But he never came to realize the foolishness of Calvinism until his mother died. Because he didn't know if his mother was one of God's elect. And if his mom isn't one of God's elect, then his mom is now burning in hell. And he couldn't stomach that. Oh, now it makes sense. Well, I felt bad for him. His mom died. When my mom died, I was like, man, yeah, that was hard. It's hard when my dad died. It's not easy. I still don't understand how my parents aren't here. Where did they go? Well, they died. Well, do they exist? I don't know. They came to me in my dreams in the beginning, but that's normal. I don't know if that was them communicating with me or that's just me having dreams. I don't know. I don't understand dreams, not completely. I've never had a lucid dream. Always wanted to have a lucid dream. Oh, the things I would do if I could have a lucid dream. Am I a dirty old man now? Yeah, probably. Probably. A lucid dream? Do anything you want. It's just a dream. It's not real. Oh, God, what would you do? Give me a break. You don't think you would? Please. But regardless of that, yeah, I'm a guy. So what? It's so easy to pass judgment on people. Are you familiar with? Speaking of passing judgment on people, are you familiar with Bill Hybels? Look him up if you aren't. He was the head pastor at the Willow Creek Church in South Barrington, Illinois. South Barrington, Illinois. As far as I know, it was the first mega church, and he started it. And mega churches became, thing. And Bill Hybels would travel all over the world. I met him one time. Don't know if I talked about this before. My wife and I and our family went to Willow Creek, raised our kids there in Promised Land, because they love Promised Land. All children love Promised Land. It's wonderful. And I like the church, even though it's more entertainment than church. He got kicked out of the church. Got caught kissing some girl, and he's a married man. And they kicked him out. He's gone. He's been replaced by a guy who's a shadow of Bill Hybels. Bill Hybels had charisma. Bill Hybels was the reason that church was so successful. His messages could just pierce your heart. Yet when I met him and went up to him to tell him how much I enjoyed his message, I said, I've never talked to the guy. Let me go up and say. He looked a little hesitant about meeting me. He was like, and he kind of offered his hand, and I'm like, whoa, dude, what's wrong with you? And I didn't say nothing, but I just said, hey, I just wanted to tell you, blah, blah, blah. And then he kind of warmed up. But he was much more interested in getting this conversation over so he could go back to talking to his friends. For a guy who comes across as being this really great guy and you're traveling the world and people love you, you sure are not approachable. And then I would learn, of course, that lots of people left Willow Creek because they couldn't stand working with the guy because he's a hard ass. We got a 10 o'clock meeting in the morning. You better not be late because Bill don't tolerate lateness. I heard that. Tons and tons of new pastors are in the church. Some guys left. Another guy leaves. Another guy leaves. Nobody liked working with him. Yet he seemed like a great guy, and he clearly had leadership skills. I mean, the man traveled the world every year. Wasn't approachable. Why? Why don't you want to meet people? Don't you want to meet people? I want to meet people. I'd love to meet any one of you. Assuming that you're a nice person. It'd be great. We'd go out and have dinner and get to know each other and hang out and talk. Tell me what your life's been like. Tell me why wouldn't that be interesting to this guy here who was like, I don't know if I want to talk to this guy. I'd rather hang out with my friends that I know. If someone in your church is coming up to you and you're like, boy, that made me wonder. And then, of course, I would learn, yeah, Bill wasn't the guy that he pretended to be. Now, the kissing the girl thing, I don't know if they had sex. I don't know what extent it was. I heard something he kissed. But they kicked him out of the church. Oh, wow, that's sitting in judgment. No forgiveness. Really, no forgiveness. How dare he give in to temptation? Oh, I know. He should have been above it. He shouldn't be tempted by a pretty girl. No, how could he? How could he be tempted by a pretty girl? Good-looking guy who was, 50, 55 at the time. Head pastor of the church. Probably a multimillionaire. Living a phenomenal life. There he is and finds himself probably alone with some really pretty girl, and he gave in to temptation. Gee, how could that happen? Come on. He's a pastor. He's a guy. But no, let's sit down and see if we can get through this and see if we can work this out. I don't know if his wife divorced him. I hope she didn't. Then again, if she did, I'm sure she had a good reason to. But it's weird. It's weird. Do I really want to show you certain things. I don't know. Maybe I'll save it for another time. I don't know how many of you have looked at my father's art. We have a video. I've mentioned this before too. We turned my dad's house into an art gallery after he died. About 8, 9, 10 years later, after he died, we had an art show. The Chicago Tribune came out, did a story on us. There's a YouTube video by them. It only has like 700 views. Chicago Tribune. I'll show. I won't play the video, but I do want to play a clip from our video. Not our video. The group of people who were working with us made a video. They made a lot of videos. And opening night at our art gallery, well, we had a really successful night, amazingly. And there was this one couple. They bought a piece of art. I'm Facebook friends with the guy now. I don't know if I'm also Facebook friends with his wife. I don't remember. But he just loved my dad's art. Oh my God. And they're making a video in the whole video is like not even 4 minutes long, so you can watch it on your own time. I'm just going to play you a clip from it. This guy and his wife are there, and they're holding the painting that they just bought. They would later come back the next day or 2 days later, and they wanted to buy another painting, but it was too expensive. They couldn't afford both, so they traded it in. It's kind of upgraded to another painting. So the painting you're going to see them holding, they ended up not keeping it. Someone else actually ended up buying it. Paid maybe $600-700 for it. I don't remember the exact price, but that's nothing. If my dad was a famous artist, they couldn't have afforded the painting. But this man, on camera, had a perfect moment of clarity. You know when the stars align and stuff just happens and magic just happens. This man described my dad's art. All I can do is show it to you. Perfect moment of clarity, perfect summation of what my father's art is. In my opinion, this is mind-blowing. And I shared this quote. I've shared it many times. We still have a Facebook page, The Art of Tristan Meineke on Facebook, but the quotes that I collected, it's no longer there. I forget what happened, but I've got the quotes. I've got all the quotes, and I've put them on my blog. All the things that people have said about my father's art. I collected quotes. And I'm so glad I kept them and didn't lose them. But let me call this up for you. I'm gonna. Yeah, I don't need to. Yeah, I could show that as my cat, as my cat is asking for attention. Hold on. Let me see here. Hold on. What? What do you want? What do you want? This is Charlie. He's the old kitty. He likes to lick. Usually if I put my hand out, he'll lick. Right now he's not interested. He wants petting. So if I pet him, he will probably start licking my hand at some point. There he goes. See? This is how he is. He trains me. He lets me know when it's time to feed him. He'll just sit there and look at me and meow at me. And see, he's the long-haired cat. Here's one of our short-haired cats over here. Which one is that? This is Flick. So that's Flick. There's one of my dad's pieces of art, by the way. All right, I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. How dare I? How dare I stop petting you? Just let me lick you. Just shut up and let me lick you. This cat's, I'm guessing, 15. These other cats are like, 4, maybe 3. So this is the old boy. But he's fine. And he really wants, he's like, give me that hand. I need to lick. He's just obsessed with licking. And we'll wrestle. We'll do this. We'll go, watch what happens. Watch. And then I'll go right back to licking. And then, lick. Is this guy a nut or what? He is so funny. I've had him for a long time. And his brother died. There was just the two of them. And his brother got sick and hair started falling out. And then he died. All right, let me go back. Here is my mom and my dad on their 50th wedding anniversary. It's a really nice picture. That encapsulates my mom's personality really well. All right. And that's my dad with the kind of a smile on his face. He was a grumpy old man. Let me show you a good picture of him as an old man. There he is. There's that scowl. Let me click on that. No, it's still going to be small. I mean, there he is. That was... Yeah. Crazy. Here he is as a young man. Let me click on this one. See, he was a goof, and that's my mom. So now I'm going to show you. Here is the Chicago Tribune video. I'm not going to play that. It's only 3 minutes, and it has a whopping 879 views. Chicago Tribune. So that's my dad. Here is the couple that I told you about. Let me get off that. And I'm going to play you what that man right there who bought that painting said about this art gallery. He just came here. He saw the Tribune article, came to the art show to see this art, and now I'm going to show you what he had to say about it. Let me back this up so you can really hear what he thought of my dad's art. Here we go.
I was looking for something from the older years, and we're big fans of Dali, Andy Warhol. I am more amazed here than I was at the Dali Museum just a couple weeks ago. Without overdoing or anything, this is blowing my mind because I love the darkness, I love the anger and aggravation and beauty of it all. Nothing like I've seen before, especially with the frames that are worked into the artwork. You know, I can't say how proud I am of this picture, and I'm glad to have it and appreciate it.
So, I love the darkness, the anger, the aggravation, and the beauty of it all. Wow! Blew my mind. Brought me to tears. It still does every time. I can't quote him without choking up. The darkness, the anger, the aggravation, and the beauty of it all. Does that describe life on this planet, like, perfectly? Look at this painting that my dad made here. Look at that crazy, insane thing. These paintings will blow your mind too if you saw. Look how huge these things are. My dad did the most wild art I've ever seen in my life. I'm not going to play it. I'm not going to play it. You can watch the video if you want to. I'm assuming I'm still in the camera. But my dad was depressed. He hated art critics. He hated gallery owners, art curators. He hated them. And he'd get into fights with them, and he'd punch them. They hated him. And finally, he had enough, and somewhere around 1960, I was born in 62, somewhere around 1960, he walked away from the art world. He was a working artist up until that point. Walked away. Still painted all his life. And people would still come occasionally and buy a painting from him. And whenever Dad sold a painting. We're going out to dinner. We'd go to Twin Anchors in Chicago. If you know the area, you know the place. We went there before it was super, super popular. It was a nice, quiet place until Frank Sinatra came and said they have the best ribs in town. Then everybody wanted to go there, and my parents quit going because they was like, oh, well, so much for that place. But that's, I digress. What a moment of clarity. And I was certain after this opening night, because I always said to my dad, you're going to become famous after you die. You're not going to be famous now because you can't get along with people. They drive you crazy. He can't put up with it. His mood swings. He's too angry. And he can't stand the phoniness of art galleries, gallery owners, because they don't care about anything. They just want to make money. They don't give a damn about any of this crap. They're phony. And he hated them because they were phony. And I said, after you die, you're going to become famous. And then this art show happened in 2012, 13. And I was like, here we go. And for about a month, people came every day because of that Chicago Tribune article. It said, this is going on for a month or two. So every day for almost a month, people, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people would show up. We're here to see the art. Oh, come on in. But that day, we had about 100 people show up. I mean, the place is buzzing. And we turned his house into an art gallery, put all of his art up. It was insane what we did. And then it all died. We tried a second art show, got maybe 30 people. Didn't sell one single thing, maybe one piece, maybe. And then nothing else. It all just died. My brother's still trying to sell the art. Maybe he has, I don't know. Not sure. No longer concerned about it. I gave up. Gave up trying to get my dad's art where it should be. In my dream life, I built my art gallery. I'll give you a little window into my dream life that I've been trying to manifest the last 6 years. My dream home and my art gallery. It's the perfect art gallery for him. It's the perfect building to put his art in, very close to my home, where my home would be, my imaginary home that I designed myself in my mind. One day I said to myself, and I don't remember if I did this before or after I saw Neville Goddard's message. I don't know what the order was, but I said, if I could have the life that I wanted, where would I live? What would my home be like? And I reasoned it out in my mind what my home would be, what the kind of home, if I could have any kind of home I want. Money's no option. And I designed that home in my mind, and I said, that's the home I want to live in. And then I decided approximately where I want to live. There's a lake. We have a dock. I can walk out my backyard right to my boat that's on the back. Not a huge boat, just a boat, a nice boat. A nice dock, nice lake, a nice town. And my dad's art gallery is right there, open to the public. I even know the hours, Wednesday through Sunday, 1 p.m. to 9 p.m. Why Wednesday through Sunday? Well, because Saturday and Sunday you got to be open. It's the weekend. Monday and Tuesday you don't have to. That's your weekend. Those are our 2 days off. I paid people to work the art gallery. Worked it all out in my mind how I'd do it. How much I'd pay people. Nothing's for sale. Well, we could sell replicas and prints at cost, because I'm not trying to make money doing this. I'm not doing this for anything other than now my dad has his art gallery and his art is on display forever. When I'm gone, my kids and my brother's kids take over. The art gallery would be there forever. It's permanent. He's finally on display. The public can come. Whether it becomes internationally famous or not, don't care. Don't care. Not worried about it. What do I care? His art finally has a permanent home. And I've walked in that art gallery because I've decided how I was going to put it. These kind of paintings are going to go in this wing. These kind of paintings are going to go in this. So I worked it all out. All of his nudes will be behind a curtain so that kids can't just walk in. Not that there's anything wrong with seeing nude art. There isn't. But you can't just let kids walk in. But if parents can bring their kids in if they're fine with it. I saw nude art when I was a kid. Grew up with it. They're amazing art. There is one that's, full frontal nudity of a man and a woman, and they're huge. Yeah, that's a little... Don't know if I have a picture of that one. I'm not going to show it on there, but the painting was called The Hand, because the hand was unusually very big. This one hand, it was like right in the middle of the painting. And there are two naked people just standing there. And the painting's like 12, 13 feet tall. So these are huge people, completely naked. And they look a little bit like Frankenstein and the Bride of Frankenstein. Not really, but like in that vein. It's a wild painting called The Hand, because the hand was abnormally long. And one guy, it was at a show. The Surrealists loved my father in Chicago. The Surrealists just loved him. They put on a great show. In 15 of his pieces in the show. The 1976 World Surrealist Exhibition. That should be available. You could look that up if you want to see it. That painting, I think, was there. And I remember this guy was looking at it. And he said to me, he said, "Oh, your dad kind of messed up there because the heads looked a little small in relation to the rest of their body, other than the giant hand, of course." But he goes, "Yeah, he measured it wrong and he ran out of space, so he had to kind of make him fit." And I went up to my dad and said, "Is that true?" And he goes, "No, I meant it that way. I did that on purpose." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And I was thinking to myself, did you mess up and you had to make the heads a little shorter? I don't know. He wasn't going to admit it. But so what? It's an amazing painting. It's wild looking. And we do have a picture of it somewhere. It's just two naked people. Big deal. It is a wild painting. But man, that moment just blew my mind. So here I am talking about Calvinism, and now I'm talking about my dad's art. I don't know why I'm making these videos. Why do I need to make these? What am I doing this for? I'm not making any money on YouTube. You know what YouTube just showed me? Where is it? I don't even know if I have it. Oh, yeah. Here in the last 30 days, views, 22,000 something. And I'm like, what? There's no way I've had that many views. Watch time, hours, over 2,000. I'm like, I'm blown away at these numbers. I'm like, this can't be true. Estimated revenue, what do you think? I was thinking this month maybe I'll make 20 or 30 bucks if I had to guess. Maybe 50. Try $2.84. Correct. When I saw 22,000 views breaks down to $2.84. Holy mackerel, you guys are... Wow, I thought it was higher than that. That's way lower than I thought. Not that I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not doing this for money. But I had a feeling I might make 50, maybe even $100 a month or $200 a month. What if I got $200 or $300? That'd be great. $2.84. I'm dying. I'm like, oh my God, that's nothing. Now hold on a second. There are people, of course, they've got way more subscribers than I do. But there's people on here who make huge money. So I figured maybe I'll make $50 to $100 a month, maybe doing this, or maybe more, maybe $200 or $300. Who knows? Maybe I will one day. I'm actually glad it's only $2.84. So you can't tell me that, oh, you're just making these videos now, Meineke, because you're just trying to make money. Oh, yeah. There you go. Nope. Can't say that right now. Maybe in a year. Maybe then I'll be making money. Who knows? You know what I want? You know what we all want? We're all trying to manifest our dream life. You know what we want? It's freedom. But what does that really mean? And why isn't this for the whole world? All we really want, all anyone really wants, is the ability to get up every morning and be free to basically do what you want. You have responsibilities that you have to do. You serve in your community. There should be certain requirements and obligations that we should all agree to. But other than that, what you want is to be free to do what you want. You should be free to live your life the way you want to live it. That's all I want. And that's why everybody pursues wealth, because if you have wealth, now you're free to do what you want. You no longer have to work for a living. You're free. But then people become addicted to their wealth or slaves to their wealth, and all they want is more wealth. Why? Once you can be free to do what you want, why do you need more? That's the part I can't figure out. Would I really want more? If I won $5 million tomorrow, I'm not in any contest. I'm not, as far as I know, I'm not going to win $5 million. But if I won $5 million tomorrow, free and clear, tax, there's $5 million. Okay, I'm set for life. I don't need any more than that. Well, what if you could make another $5 million? Oh, sure, I'll take another $5 million, but of course. But I'm not going to spend my time trying to get another $5 million. I've got $5 million, and I just randomly chose that number. It could be 4, 3, even 2. Now I can live the life that I want to live and do the things I want to do. If I had 10 million, maybe I could do it with 5 million. I'd build my father's art gallery. There's one thing I'd do. I'd build my dream home. If I had 10 million, absolutely I could do it with 10 million. Probably with 5 million, but you don't want to run out of money. So I might just buy a nice house in the country that's very, very inexpensive, but a very nice house. All that I need for myself to live the life that I want to live. If I have 10 million or 20 million, dream home, art gallery, and pretty much, whatever I want. But now I don't need any more than that. What do I need more than that for? I got everything I need. Got everything I want. All I need to do now is stay healthy. And I know how to stay healthy. You just practice the Wim Hof method. You'll never get sick. I'd practice it religiously. Wim Hof takes a 10-minute ice bath every day. That's exactly what I do. He has a tank. You can just get in it. It's all set. I'm not going to do that in my bathtub every day. It's way too much work, let alone the cost of having to buy the ice. He takes a 10-minute ice bath every day. He never gets sick. He does his breathing exercises every day. He does his exercises every day. I'd follow the Wim Hof method religiously. Why? Because I'll never get sick. It's the key to health. So I've got wealth, got my dream home, got my dad's art on display. My mom would be on display there too. All of the photos we have of my mom, Angel Casey. If you haven't seen Angel Casey, Casey, you saw the picture of her there. She was in Chicago television. She had her own kids show in Chicago. Before, I grew up with, I don't know about any of you, I don't know if this was national, Captain Kangaroo, Ray Rayner, Garfield Goose. She was on before them. So that's another story. My mom's a nurse. But I made videos on my channel about both my mom and my dad. You can look them up. You can watch them. You can see what she looked like. And, but that would be it. What do I need more money for? Why are all these rich people trying to make more money? Why? For what? What do you plan on doing with it? None of your business. Okay, why can't you answer the question? The only thing they're going to do is try to make more money with it. So they're making money to make more money. I've talked about this before in a video. I don't get that. So you're still not going to be free to just enjoy your life? I don't get it, man. I mean, I could do anything I want. I could study music. I could study art. I could study literature. I could learn how to dance. I could study martial arts. I could study boxing. I could lift weights. I could travel the world. Do anything you want. I don't get it. And if I was a billionaire, wouldn't you want to help people who are starving to death? There's people starving in this world. Lots. Wouldn't you want to feed them if you're a billionaire? Why wouldn't you? I don't understand this world that we live in. I don't understand our obsession with wealth to the point where it consumes us, and the only thing that matters is making more wealth. Why isn't enough? Would I really become consumed if somebody gave me $5 million? But how can I get 10? And the moment I get 10, how can I make 20? Really? That's what would happen to me? I don't think so. I'll take 20, and if I could turn 20 into 50, I'll do it. But that's not my focus. My focus is I've got this much money. Here's my home. Here's my art gallery. Here's my life. Now I'm free. I can do what I want every day. If I want to travel, I'll travel. I'm going to live my life. I'm going to get involved with meeting people. You know, there are certain people that I want in my life. And I'm going to enjoy life. Whether I get more money or not is immaterial. Of course I'll take more money. But I'm not going to spend my days, how can I make more money? So that you can do what? I thought the purpose of making money is so that you could enjoy your life. But how can you enjoy your life if all you're doing is trying to make more money? Bill Gates won't stop working. All he wants to do is make more money. He can't stop. Does he not enjoy life? Does he not travel and see the world and, just enjoy living? Oh no, gotta work. Gotta get up and go to... Why do you have to go to work? What do you have to work for? Oh, I don't want to be a loser. That's a loser mentality. You've already won. The game is over. You won. You're a winner. Nope, got to keep working. Got to get up and go to work tomorrow. If you love it, sure. I'm not going to keep walking dogs if I had $5 million. Why would I keep walking dogs? I don't hate walking dogs. I like walking dogs, but I'm not like, oh, I can't wait to walk more dogs. I don't live to walk dogs. I walk dogs because it pays my bills. This means I can live here. I got lucky figuring that out. I got really lucky. I was going to be totally screwed. Can't even get into it with you. I was screwed. If I didn't find this, if this didn't fall into my lap, talk about manifesting what you need to survive. I needed certain things to happen, and they all happened, including this apartment. It was unreal what happened. I said at one point, there was this guy who bought $20,000 worth of art at the art show. He's a collector of Chicago art, rich guy. Loved our dad's art. And I wanted to get this apartment. It was available. I walked someone's dog here, and she said, I'm moving out. And I said, oh. She goes, can you still walk my dog? And I said, sure. I said, oh, this apartment's going to be available? At the time, I was living with my brother and his girlfriend. Yeah, I'm moving out. This is a great apartment, isn't it? She goes, yeah, and it's a great price. I said, well, it's expensive, but it's not by today's standards. It was a great price. But I didn't have good credit. And I was making like $300 a week. Couldn't afford it. But we sold all that art, so I had some money. And I was getting dog walks. I was building my business. Maybe I was up to $400 a week. I don't remember what I was at. But I didn't show any income. I wasn't on a payroll. And my credit wasn't the best. How am I going to get this apartment? The guy who bought the art my brother contacted him, or he contacted my brother. And when I heard he was interested in more art, he wanted to look, he wanted to think about it, I said to myself, because I'm really I've got to, I've got to move out. I've got to get my own place. I can't afford this place. What am I going to do? I can't afford it because I have some money. But how am I going to make it work? And I said to myself, if this guy buys another 20 grand, that's 10 for me. Because my brother and I are split at 50-50. If that happens, that's the sign I need that I'm going to get that apartment. He bought $20,000 more of art. I couldn't believe it. I was stunned. I was like, what? So I go and apply for the apartment. And I don't get it. And I talked to the landlord and I said, I can give you several months in advance. I really want the apartment. I said, I have the money. And he goes, all right, I'll tell you what. I'll give you a 4-month lease. You pay me first month and fourth month, and the next 2 months you pay. If you pay those months, I'll sign you to a lease. I said, done. I needed that to happen. I said, if he spends 20 grand, that will be the sign I need. And it happened. So when Neville Goddard said, just imagine what you want, I was certain that I was going to get my life back, the life that I had thrown away and lost, and that I was going to be wealthy and would retire and build my dream home that I know in intimate detail in my mind, the whole house. I can describe every room. Maybe I should make a video showing you my dream home. I'd have to redraw it. I used to have it drawn. I don't have it drawn anymore. I mean, just a graph, nothing, no picture. But that happened. And that's why I'm here. It's a 2-bedroom apartment in Chicago. It's crazy that I got this place. Not really good credit. My credit's better now. But at the time it was, and no income. But I can't get my imagination to create my reality. I thought my imagination was God. I believed it was going to happen. Why didn't it happen? Oh, because, you're not feeling it. Oh, because you haven't done shadow work. Oh, because you didn't do blah, blah. Whoa. I thought my imagination is God, and my imagination creates reality. Man is all imagination. The eternal body of man is the imagination. I can quote Neville Goddard. I've listened to Neville Goddard a lot. I wanted to understand this in detail. I've listened to a lot of people tell me why it's not working. I don't get it. I don't get it. All the things that have happened in my life, the dumb things where I've screwed up my life and threw away my life and effed up my life really badly, and then all the things that got me what I needed to survive. I was 1 day away from being homeless at one point in my life. 1 day with nowhere to go. No clue what to do. Scared. I don't get it. Why am I here? Why are any of us here? According to atheism, we're just here because we're here. And we're just going to go away. Well, that's about the dumbest reason for life to exist I've ever heard. I mean, atheism and its core principle is absurd. We're just here because we're here, and then we're gone. And there's no reason why we were here, and there's no reason, it doesn't matter. And you'll never exist again. It's completely meaningless. Then why bother at all? Why would any of this begin? Well, it just happened. That don't make no sense to me. But here I am thinking I finally found the secret to life, and I was certain this was the secret to life. I was certain this is what it's all about. You imagine what you want. So you see it in your mind. Your imagination is God. You are now literally creating what you're imagining. And all of creation is already done, right? The Garden of Eden, God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, rested on the seventh. It's all done. So whatever I'm creating, that's just God creating it for me. Put that in my mind. My home, my life that I'm going to have, that I'm going to create for myself. And it's all going to happen by God in me is going to create it for me. I'm not going to go out and do it. I got to go out and make the money so that I can build my dream. Well, then what do I need God for? What do I need imagination for? The only reason for imagination is to think about what you want and then you got to go do it. Well, that's not imagination creating reality. These people who say you have to follow it up with action, I'm like, then you don't really believe that your imagination is God. The action is what the bridge of incidents is. You are sent down. Your imaginal acts send you down a bridge of incidents, translation, a set of circumstances, and the actions that you will take are in relation to that. The actions come later. Neville took no action to go to Barbados. He went to Barbados. The action he took was to go get the ticket when the way was provided. Sure, he went. But it was all provided for him through his imaginal acts. Nothing has been provided for me through my imaginal acts. Not one damn thing. Not even the red rubber ball, which I vividly imagined and held in my imaginary hand and felt it. You didn't feel it. You don't really believe. Yes, I believe a red rubber ball. Yeah, I believe I have it. I do have it. I've held it in my hand. I have it. It's here. It's just not here. But I created it in my imagination. So it exists. So it has to show up. But it didn't. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. Maybe my dream home will eventually the way will be provided and I'll get my dream home and I'll build my art gallery. That'd be great. But I'm not supposed to talk about it. You're not supposed to tell people. Don't tell anyone. That'll just put up blocks. At this point, I don't care. Block away. Go right ahead, put up all the blocks you want. I don't care. I know what I want. I know exactly the life I want to live, and I know what I would do if I had the money that I desire to have. And the more money I have, the more good things I'll do with it. At least that's what I think I'm going to do. But if I only have enough for me, $5 million, $10 million, I'll build my dream home, I'll build my art gallery, and I'll go live there. And any of you pretty girls who want to come live with me, you're more than welcome to come over. Anyway, that's what I'll end with. All the pretty girls can come live with me. Okay, because I'm a dirty old man. There you go. Now I got to turn this thing around and stop this video. All right, take care.